Hello, I am Anna Marie Ciofani, the Client Service Specialist at Infinity Benefit Solutions. Today's discussion is Infinity Client Service 101. So I'll be explaining everything client service, what it is, and what we do. So again, we'll be going over the client service role and responsibilities and how that pertains to both employer and employee services. We'll also be going over the difference between client services and account manager. And then finally, I'll provide you with the client service contact information. So first, client services is your personal advocate when working with insurance companies and acts as a liaison between you and the insurance company to ensure any issues are resolved in an efficient and timely manner. Client services works primarily with employees on an individual basis, but is also here to assist employers as well, handling anything from claims to enrollments and everything in between. So this is a basic overview of what client service does. So we'll go ahead and get into specifics. So for employer services, this includes enrollments, terminations, and changes, and that's everything that falls under this. ID cards, qualifying event questions, waiting period questions. Never hesitate to reach out if you have a qualifying event or waiting period question. Most of the time it is pretty straightforward, but sometimes it's not, so it never hurts to double check. If you do enrollments or terminations online yourself, always have the employee fill out an application for each individual carrier if you're enrolling them in multiple. If there is ever an issue with the enrollment or termination and you need to reach out to us and we need to go to the carrier, they are going to ask for the completed application. So it's just easiest if you send that to us right away. And if you did go ahead and submit an enrollment or termination, any confirmation that you received back saying that it went through or any error message. Another service that we help with is billing questions. So basically, if you receive an invoice and it doesn't look right, this could be an employee who should not be on the plan and is, or an employee who should be on the plan but is not. So as in either they are or not showing on your invoice. Rate questions. Note, client service does not calculate rates. We can provide you with the rates table and confirm what the rate is for an employee, but we will not add rates together, nor will we tell you how much an employee is responsible for based on the percentage you as the employer cover. We can only provide you with 100% of the monthly premium. The employer portal, we do not have access to employer portals. It's just something that carriers don't allow us to have access to, nor can we set up your employer portal for you. Kind of like what I was saying, when it comes to the employer portals, carriers just don't provide us with much information, and the individuals that we reach out to at the carriers, they don't have access to it either. It's a separate department. So if you do need to get set up on the portal for the first time, we can certainly reach out to the carriers to have them add you as a contact and grant you access, but that's essentially where it ends. You will need to set it up yourself. If you already have an account and you just forgot your username, we can get it from the carrier, but we can't get you your password if you have forgotten that. And then we can also reach out and confirm you are set up. If you are added as a contact, you just don't know if you have your portal set up or not. And we can also update the group contacts. We'll just need to know what exactly it is you are requesting, and then we can walk you through the process. But if you have any questions regarding the employer portals, you really do just need to reach out to the carriers. And then general plan questions. Client service can answer pretty much any general plan related question. And if we can't, then we can just go to the account manager or to the carrier. And this can be a range of questions, from coverage questions to deductible questions and everything in between. So then for the employee services, I just want to start off by saying that everything that you tell either client service or the account managers is confidential. If it stays between us and the account manager, if you send it to client service, it'll stay between me and the carrier, and then if I have to bring in the account manager on anything. Second, I highly encourage employees to set up their member portals. When your member portal is set up, it automatically links to the plan you are on. So everything pertaining to your specific plan is on your member account. So all the information is right there. Some of the services is claims. Claims are a bit of my specialty. I work on claims all day, every day with all carriers. In order to work on claims, we do need to know if it's for the employee or their dependents. A brief explanation of the issue. You don't have to go into too much detail, but a brief explanation is needed. The EOB, which is the explanation of benefits, this comes directly from the carrier, so you can get that on your member portal. And or the bill, because it has all the information we need in order to work with carriers. That's date of service, bill amount, the name of the provider, everything like that. We cannot work with the carriers if we do not have this information. They won't talk to us unless we can confirm everything. The carriers have the information, but unless we have it in front of us and can confirm everything, they won't talk to us. And this is to protect your information. If it's a prescription claim, we basically need the same information, the name, and then in addition to, we need the name of the prescription and the name of the prescribing doctor. And then if you had an issue picking the prescription up at a pharmacy, the name of the pharmacy that you went to. ID cards. If the employer portal is set up, employers can certainly print ID cards or request ID cards for employees. Employees can also print ID cards from their member portals, which is why I highly recommend setting that up. And a lot of carriers have mobile apps. So if you have teenagers or children who are off in college or adult children still on your plan, or for yourself, there's an app that you can download as well. We can order ID cards and print ID cards on most carriers, but I just want you to know that you have those tools as well. And then general questions. Just like on the employer side, client service can answer pretty much any general plan related question. If we can't, we just go to the account manager or the carrier. And again, this is can be questions regarding coverage to deductible and pretty much everything in between. I do want to touch base on a couple questions that client service does get quite often. So one of those is this procedure or test covered and how much will I owe? Yes, we can look into this, but we cannot give you an exact number. What we can tell you is if the procedure or test is covered, if a prior authorization is needed, and if it's subject to the deductible, which it usually is. We don't have a hard number on how much all tests and procedures cost, but if it's subject to the deductible and you have not met your deductible and or out of pocket, you will pay something. And so in order to look into this, we will need the name of the procedure or test, the provider name, the name of the facility, and then any billing procedure and diagnostic code. So for example, let's say you reach out to client service and you want to know if a surgery is covered. Well, I'll go ahead and ask you for the type of surgery, some background information. Again, you don't need to get into too much detail. The name of the surgeon, the facility, and the procedure, billing, and diagnostic codes. I'll ask you if a prior authorization has been submitted. Most of the time you won't know if one is submitted or if one's required because that is the provider's responsibility to handle. But if one is, so like I said, if one is required, the providers handle that on their own. I ask for the name of the surgeon in the facility so I can confirm that both are in network. I ask for the codes because some services are plan exclusions or do require prior authorization. And in order to see if it's covered or prior auth is needed, we need the codes. The provider can always reach out to the carriers directly for a predetermination, and they'll essentially get all of that information directly from the carriers. The second most common question that client service gets is this doctor in network / can you find a doctor for me? First, we cannot tell you which doctor to see. That is a decision you need to make for yourself or with your primary care physician if they are recommending you see a specialist. We can provide you a list of in-network providers, but we cannot tell you who to see. As I stated previously, I highly recommend setting up your member portal because it automatically links to the plan you're on. And when you do a provider search, it will pull up all in-network providers. When you ask us if a provider is a network, we will go to the member portal, look up the provider just like you would. The only difference is we cannot log in and we have to select the specific plan. So like you said, when you log in, yours is already linked to your plan. When we go in, we have to select the plan and put in all of the plan information. We will take it one step further and reach out to the carrier to confirm if the provider and or facility is a network. But with that said, it is recommended by the carrier and by us that once you find a provider you want to see and it's been confirmed that they are in network, that you just reach out to the provider directly and confirm they are still in network under your plan before you go in for your appointment. Contracts are constantly changing, and so you need to confirm before you go. We do get questions on member portals, but just like the employer portal, we don't have access to them, and unfortunately, any questions need to be handled directly with the employee and the carrier. So then, so kind of with a client service and account managers, because you're probably asking yourself, you know, do they overlap or work together? So client service can assist with getting claims pushed through, assists clients with navigating carriers, portals. Client services behind the scenes. We primarily deal with employees. We can handle most everything on the individual plan level basis, and this is everything that I explained previously regarding employer and employee. Account managers, they're higher level plan, so they handle everything on the group level. They're experts in the plan design, and they handle the renewals and everything having to do with that, and any type of change that needs to be made. Client service is not involved with renewals. We know that it's happening, but don't know the details of it until it has been completed. Account managers also assist with compliance and COBRA. They're the primary point of contact. They handle employee meetings and are client-facing. They offer the general guidance, and they primarily deal with employers. Then do client service and account managers ever overlap? Yes, of course, all the time. I'm constantly bringing in the account manager on enrollments, terminations issues, and any claim issues whenever necessary. We are communicating all the time with each other. If you have any questions and you're not sure if it's client service or account manager related, you can send it to the client service or the account manager, and whoever you send it to, if they cannot answer it, they'll send it to the correct person. Or send it to both, and one of us will answer the question. But if it's renewal question related, don't send it to client service because we can't answer it. But we are here to assist you with any questions that you have and all of your needs, and no matter who you send it to, it will get to the right place and it will be handled. So lastly, here's the contact information for client service. And then this concludes today's webinar, and I hope you found it to be very helpful. Thank you.